What is up to all of my little unicorns, new and old? It's your girl TheWestIndieRay, back again with another information-filled video. Now, as promised, I am taking you guys along with me throughout my whole engagement process to find my dress, to find the venue, to plan my bridesmaid boxes and all these different things. So today I'm gonna take you guys with me on my venue tours. You will see 4 out of the 5 venues that I toured, excluding the one venue that I actually picked, which I'll show you in another video. But even though I'm not gonna be sharing with you guys the venue that I actually chose in this video, I still wanted to take you along with me so you could kind of get a feel on how these things typically go and what you can get for the price. I know I personally had a lot of anxiety surrounding venue tours and things like that. And the thought is, like, if you go through it with me first, it might make you a little bit more comfortable when you go through it yourself. Also, please keep in mind that these venues that I visited are all within the state of Florida, different parts of Florida that I'll share with you. I had to do a lot of driving, you guys, but that's where this is at. It might be different where you are, or maybe you're planning to have like a destination wedding, or you have family in one of these parts that I'm going to mention. So just stay tuned. First, I'm going to talk about the tips that I want you guys to remember. Then I will take you on the venue tours, and then I will list off a bunch of questions, about 25, 26 questions that I think are must ask questions for whenever you go and visit your venues. So my first tip is going to be one of the most beneficial things that I needed to hear when I first started going on the venue tours. I was kind of having a hard time because it's just like when you first become an adult and you're really struggling with calling the doctor to make your doctor's appointment on your own. These are all things that I've never done before. And I just got this voice of my mom that said, be brave, be brave, be brave. And I'm like, okay, but what does that mean? And throughout the process of just this whole engagement, I've found how be brave applies in pretty much every situation. So my first tip is to definitely go in there like you are looking to hire somebody to do a service for you. I have the tendency, even though I'm outgoing and things like that, to be a little bit timid when it comes to, you know, things like calling the doctor, like I said, or going to customer service, or talking on the phone to somebody and asking them for something, because to me, it feels like I'm asking for a favor, but in this situation, you are literally offering your money to somebody to provide a service for you. So do not let these people walk all over you. Ask as many questions as you need to ask. They get the questions all the time. They will understand and they will be all right. Do not feel bad about asking a ton of questions. My second tip is that if you can, definitely try to make sure that you go with somebody else. Sometimes they pick up on things that you do not catch. They can also write things down for you or record for you if that's what you want to do. And it just makes it a lot easier and more comfortable knowing that you have somebody there who's on your side, who might ask questions that you don't even think of. Bringing somebody with you is also going to help you with my next tip, which is making a pro and con list immediately after you leave the venue while it's still fresh in your head of the things that you liked and the things that you didn't like about the venue. Do not wait until you get home and you're tired or the next day, because there are going to be some things that you don't remember. The next tip I want to give to you is to make sure that you, at the beginning of the tour, ask whoever it is that you're going on the tour with if they can provide a packet or email to you after the tour that details everything that you talked about, and that'll kind of give you a gauge of how many notes you have to take throughout. Even if they provide the packet, make sure that you still ask and write down your questions, but it just allows you to be a little bit more stress-free throughout the tour and engaged, rather than just writing everything down like a maniac. My next suggestion is to make sure that you do a lot of research on your venues before you actually show up there. You can find venues online on websites like Zola or Wedding Wire, or just any other wedding planning website, where they have like the venues and they have some of their policies. Sometimes they even have pricing. Pricing's not always accurate, so you want to make sure that you send out inquiries to these venues. A lot of times they'll send you like their pricing and their food menus if they require you to go through them for food and stuff like that. They'll send you a lot of information before you even have to go there. So especially if you are a bride who has to travel to their venue, it makes it really just a lot easier having that information beforehand, because if something comes back and it's way out of your budget, you don't even have to waste your time going there and feeling uncomfortable. So yeah, definitely make sure that you do your research online first, if possible, before you even plan to go to any venues. And then again, if you're traveling like I have to, make sure that you go ahead and stack your appointments and figure out what the best days are to visit these venues, because you don't want to have to go into town on a Wednesday and then go back into town 2 Fridays later to just see a venue. Also, make sure that you give yourself enough time to go see venues. Seeing venues and securing a venue and a date is one of the first things that you should do when you're planning your wedding, so make sure that you're not waiting to the last minute to do this. And my last tip before we go ahead and get into the vlog is to make sure, again, that you take notes, but I prefer recording. Even if you're not a person who has a YouTube or is creating a vlog for all of her lovely little unicorns, recording is also very beneficial, especially if your partner is not able to make it with you to the venue tours. That way they could kind of see everything and get a lay of the land, and both of you guys can make an educated decision about what venue you're going to choose together. Also, if there's anything that you forgot the answer to when you're going through your video, if you've done a thorough job, then you will have been able to like recover some information that maybe slipped your mind. All right, so those are all the tips that I have for right now. Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end so that you can hear my top questions that you need to ask at your venue tour. Let's get into it. What is up, my little unicorns, new and old? It's your girl TheWestIndieRay, back again with another information-filled video. Now today I have my sister-in-law Sheeta and my little baby Amira here, and we are actually going on my first ever venue tour for the wedding. I'm screaming on the inside. Can y'all believe it? Y'all have been here through the whole journey of basically my life for the past few years. And I'm getting married, and I really cannot believe that. But y'all know, as usual, I want to bring you guys along with me to show you guys what I'm seeing, how I'm saving money, things that might be helpful to you and whatnot. Let's just go ahead and go to this first venue. I'm really excited about it. First thoughts, online, the venue looked gorgeous, and I want to see if it's really pretty in person. However, the area that it's in, we had to travel a long time to get here, and thankfully my sis came with me because she's an angel. But also, the area around it looks very industrial. I don't know if there will be many places for our guests to stay if they have to stay the night, because most of the places here are giving motel. Also, all the food here is giving Popeyes. Very much fast food, very much mom and pop shop that you have to be here, you have to be from here to like the food, you know what I mean? So, and it's also kind of far from the airport, and like I said, we had to travel a while to get here. So the places that I'm going to this weekend are like more in the city, and I'll still have to travel a while to get here, or to get there, but it's not as deep in the backwoods as this place is. So that is my first concern. The outside looks fine. I don't want to take up too much of your time talking about this because I have a bunch of venues to show you guys. So let's just go ahead and see if they'll let me record and start the video. Gonna want to see this is very manly. Very, very manly. They don't have a bathroom or anything like that, but you know, hold it. This is nice too.
Added the restroom, of course, in the ladies, so that if you did if you get ready here, you wouldn't have to leave the room for any reason.
Yeah.
There'd be an additional bathroom, of course, over here for any bridal party or family or friends. But the majority of the restrooms are here.
It's nice. Nice and clean.
Right, even the right.
Yeah, even the bathroom.
And as you can tell, the kitchen is just a catering kitchen, so it's a food warmer, fridge, little prep stations, wash station, and then you'll have full ice on the day of the event.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, this building used to be a local newspaper.
Really?
Oh wow. Yeah, so it's about 33,000 square feet, and it's 2-story. So, you know, of course, we took this space and then added the garden, so the whole front portion of the building is about 11,000 square feet.
And then this is the bar situation.
So yeah, of course, the newspaper didn't have a bar, which I'm sure they appreciated.
And what time of year did you say that this looks its best? Is it like summertime or?
Yeah, I mean, just as soon as it starts raining, but you know, like the tail end of winter.
Excuse me if you can hear my AC blasting. It's so hot. It's actually 93 degrees here right now. That's crazy. But the venue was gorgeous. I'm sure you guys saw like the videos just now, but the venue is really, really pretty. The only thing that I really can't get past is just the distance and how this area looks. If y'all know anything about me, I really care about other people's comfortability and I want to make sure that, you know, the guests who would come into town are comfortable and that they don't feel like we just left them for dead, because that's trifling, right?
Right.
That would be so trifling.
We do
like
care.
we do care, you know, like we're a family that cares. I'm not gonna have my wedding at a place where you gotta stay in a Motel 6. I'm just not doing that. Okay, so I know it's probably a little bit hard to see because it's so early in the morning, but I am actually on my way back. Okay, so a couple things before I start to the vlog for today, okay? I realized that I was so distracted last time I was in town with the first venue that I actually did not really get much of the venue, so you guys didn't see much of that. But hopefully this time it will be different because my sister-in-law had the baby, so she wasn't able to record for me, so I had to do it by myself, which is fine because, you know, I love my niece. But this time I will have my cousin with me. She's probably gonna record for me so that we get the footage for these venues that I'm gonna show you today. But yeah, very early in the morning and I have to drive a long time to get to the place that I'm going. Okay guys, I'm with my cousin.
Yeah.
Show them you.
Boom.
So she actually agreed to man the camera for you guys today. So big thanks to my big cousin. We used to live together for like 3 years and I just love her. We haven't seen each other honestly since I moved. She was a real one and helped me move, but that was almost a year ago now that we think about it.
Yes, it has been.
Which is crazy because we've been besties growing up and we lived together for 3 whole years, and it's like to go from 3 years of living together, or like 2.5 really because she moved out on me. But you know, I had the place for myself.
Coin.
So
It was for the coin.
It was for the coin and for the kids. It was for the coin and for the kids. So we get it. But to not seeing somebody in almost a year, like my heart was just shattered. But we're finally back. Show them you again.
Purr.
Okay. And we are going first to the first spot, and hopefully they have good parking there. The only thing that I'm really concerned about this spot in general is parking for our guests will most likely be in a parking garage from just what I've gathered. And that kind of sucks because I prefer to have a place where it's like a big parking lot, you know what I mean? But we'll see what they're talking about. It's really nice and it has like a 360 view. Y'all will see all that, so let me not even spoil it because I want y'all to see it. But
so there is capability to do everything outside, but we are in Florida, so there's also capability to do everything inside if
Okay.
we need to.
perfect.
But right now this is set up for 90 guests. Pretty close. I think you said about 120 for you?
Yeah, somewhere between, we're probably gonna put out like 125 invites.
Okay.
These people are very passionate about us, so I think most of them will probably show up, but we're trying to see maybe somewhere between 100 and 125
Okay.
people.
Great. So let's walk down. We'll go down in this area here. So under these lights here is where a lot of people lay the dance floor. We include the dance floor.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna make this the sweetheart, so bride and groom, and then all the guests here, and then their dance floor. They're not laying down our dance floor, so this whole area is gonna be the dance floor.
Okay, nice. This is a really, really big space.
Yep.
And it comes with all the tables and the chairs as well?
Tables, chairs, high tops. They did bring in like the lounge seating. The linens are from the caterer typically. But yeah, we include all the furniture and we set everything up.
Okay, nice.
So we have event staff and a day of planner. Our day of planner would meet with you and design a layout, and then our staff sets it up according to that. And
Yeah.
she meets with you, so it's kind of exactly what you want. We usually do plan A and plan B. case of bad weather. So
Okay. And then, so as far as the day of planner, do you know how much, is that an additional
it
cost? or
actually
is it
comes with the
included?
venue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we just use tables.
This is such a big space.
Yeah.
Wow. And I love how you can like see outside from any point in
Yes.
there. That is gorgeous.
So for a ceremony, typically people pick from 3 spots. So this is 1 view, 2, and then 3. But most people do pick the view, and then this area is usually cocktail hour, and then inside for reception.
Okay.
Staff will keep things back here. Like that wagon is for Saturday's wedding, so we can store your stuff.
Okay, awesome. And then, so it's just the use of like refrigerator and like a workspace?
Yeah, we don't have a kitchen, so
Okay.
that's why it's really important that we
The
know
preferred
the
vendor.
caterer. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
So where you guys came up, we normally have some signs around 2 bathrooms. And then these doors here are where you can go out for ceremony, so they wouldn't see the reception.
Oh, nice, yeah. So that's why you said we'll do it in reverse?
Yeah. You can put like cards and gifts here. And then we have these doors propped open for guests, so you can go back out. But why don't I let you ladies take another look?
Yeah.
Come in either door, and then we'll go over any other questions you
Questions that I have. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
please take your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I hope that you guys can hear me right now, but I pretty much love this venue a lot, and it's actually a lot more affordable than I thought that it would be, because it comes with not only just like this beautiful event space that's huge, but it also comes with these lights, which I really like. That's one thing that was really big on Mr. WestIndieRay's list. He wanted to have the little lights. So it comes with that. The views are really pretty. We'll show you guys those in a second. And one of the biggest things is that they have staff on site the day of the event, and they also have like a day of wedding planner. So y'all know I'm doing pretty much all of this by myself with the help of my people who are pretty much going to be in my bridal party are going to help me. So if that was any indication, you already knew you were going to be in the bridal party, but here it is. So yeah, but we're kind of doing this like by ourselves. This is the first big wedding, I think, in my friend group. I don't know if any of my other friends besides my childhood bestie Jari, she's married, but she didn't have like a wedding, so she just went to like the courthouse. So this is really like the first one of in my friend group who's like really jumping the broom, you know what I mean? So it's everybody's first time, and I'm glad, because y'all know I love to share what I know, and I'll be able to plan everybody's wedding after this. But yeah, I just really like this place. I think the main thing that will probably hike up the price of this wedding is probably the food, because that's normally one of the most expensive things, number one, and number two, they do have a preferred vendor list, so I'm not sure what their costs are like, you know what I mean? So it just depends on what they're talking about. I'll make some calls and figure out what's most cost effective, because y'all know me, I don't care if I have $10 million, I'm not breaking the bank. Not for no date, okay? It's gonna be a great day, but I'm not breaking the bank for it. And I don't have to. I've seen better views, you know what I mean? If I'm being real, do you agree?
I agree.
I've seen better views, so I wouldn't book this just because of the view, but it is really nice. And it does seem like it gets a lot of shade, which, like she said, could be a good thing or could be a bad thing. It also seems very much like the best time to do this would be at night. I was thinking of doing like a brunch wedding type of situation, but it seems like sunset would be the best option. So I'll have to take that into consideration. Is that Lake Eola?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my old home. This is what we're doing now. And then there's a guy over there. I don't really want to bother him too much, but it's just a big building. Y'all, you could show. So yeah, I'm sure this place looks really, really nice when it's all dressed up. Of course, the best friend has arrived. You guys saw her in one of my recent vlogs with my best friend, our weekend vlog.
Back like I never left.
So she pulled up in her Range Rover Velour, honey.
Oh my god. Let's get some mimosas. I mean, no. Because, I mean, I'm ready to.
Why not? What's up, y'all? So today is day 2 of the venue hunt, or actually day 3 of the venue hunt. We're only going to see one venue today, and I don't know if I'm gonna like it that much. I don't think I'm gonna like it that much. I don't think I'm gonna like it more than I liked my venue from yesterday. So we'll see what they're talking about. Maybe I'll fall in love with something, because like I always say, I'm accepting of better outcomes. So we'll see what today is looking like, and I'm really excited about it. So get in the back seat. What you doing?
I don't think we'll be here for long. It's given very much. Horror movie is given. Get out. It sounds like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
You ain't lying. You ain't thinking.
This experience, I'm like a YouTube person.
Sure.
Okay.
And we're actually gonna start this tour right outside. Over here is kind of what I like to call the secret garden. It is a fun place to kind of take that intimate moment. There will be a lot of guests here that want to celebrate you, but you have, like, it is about the two of you, so kind of take that moment to appreciate each other. We do have a few benches in there. It's a really great photo op to kind of spend some time with your photographer. You can do family portraits in there if you're interested. And then if you did want to get ready on site, this is a really pretty picture for dress purposes. Kind of hang here,
yeah,
depending on the lighting. It's really pretty.
Yeah, nice. Can I walk through?
Of course, go ahead.
I have a thing for like arches and stuff.
This place looks dusty.
Are you thinking indoor, outdoor, a bit of both?
Thinking indoor, outdoor, but
Okay.
what's really important to me is that there's a plan for in case it rains, because it is Florida and sometimes it rains every day for a month at 3 o'clock.
Yep.
So you know how that is.
Yep. So basically all of your weather backup is inside. We do have 2 outside options that you're allowed to utilize. Throughout the event, you will be the only event that happens at that time frame, so you don't have to worry about random people. You can kind of use all 3 of the spaces if you want to. It's not a problem. I recommend kind of setting up a table. You can either do a sign-in table, a gift drop. There's nothing worse than people holding a box for your whole
Yeah, the whole
ceremony.
thing, yeah.
The other option is doing a welcome refreshment. It's typically one of those things where weddings are the one thing that people actually arrive on time for, or they get a little bit early. So it is something that it's nice to kind of offer them water, lemonade, one of those.
Yeah, especially if it's a hot day out.
Yeah. So this is our main patio space. You can use it for your reception or your ceremony. If it is something that you wanted to use for your reception, for instance, you would put everything behind these bushes, so all of your tables would be set up. You could have your ceremony here. Your guests would then go down to the lower patio for cocktail hour, and then our team would kind of flip the space, pull out the tables, set them exactly where they're supposed to be. And then this is the lawn area. We did have a summer camp that was here. These past few months, obviously they just went back to school, but they had some slip and slide, so it destroyed the grass a little bit, but typically it doesn't look like this. It obviously will grow back, and since you have quite a few months, we are also looking at potentially servicing it and putting new turf down. So one thing to mention with if you wanted your reception outside, Winter Park has a strict noise ordinance, so any kind of music has to be inside. So any kind of amplified DJ, a band, any of that would all have to be inside. So your event end time will be 10 o'clock, but as far as any kind of amplified noise, because there's so many houses within the vicinity, any kind of amplified noise has to be inside regardless of what time it is.
And this is like an indoor reception area.
Yep. So this is our indoor space. It does come with tables and farmhouse crossback chairs. So they are in the information that I gave you. Here's a picture of the chairs that are in there. We have our 2 bridal suites. Both of them have a closet for you to be able to hang your dresses and a mirror in both. And then there's a restroom right here. So if you did want to get ready on site, you could kind of utilize these.
So how many restrooms are there like in the main area for guests?
In the main area, there's an individual restroom, and then there's one restroom that has 3 stalls, so 4 total.
Okay.
If you did have more of that. We have an approved list of caterers and approved list of DJs. So you do have to pick one of those
Okay.
However, for everything else, so florist, cake, photographer, you can do whoever you like.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for the
no
tour.
problem.
I guess we'll just wait for her and then head out after that.
Perfect.
But I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Pros and cons.
Okay. I don't want to be rude. So I'm gonna go with my 80s themed bridal suite. So, pros, the price, $2,500, that's cheap. Cons are that it looks kind of disheveled. Number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, we have to use their own catering and
DJ.
which is weird.
Who's trying to have Chris DJ or
I
something?
don't want Chris.
Alright guys, here's a song for the bride and groom.
Break it down. Break it down. I don't want. I love you. Oh, you're great. Yeah. And then there's a fly in here. I don't like it. I also don't like what this is giving 90s. I don't know what it's supposed to give. I also don't like how we can't have music outside.
Yeah.
At all. I also don't really like their event space in general. I don't like their grass.
It's not kept. It's not
It's
kept.
not well kept. Everything's overgrown or dead.
They had a water hose just tossed between bushes. And then there was a fallen, did you see the fallen tree?
I did see the fallen tree out there. It's giving very much, I don't care. It's a no, that's why I didn't take notes.
Yeah, she ain't not that
She can
fan.
hurry up so we can get the up out of Dodge. I asked for the steps moving forward for a little razzle dazzle. Just a little something on the side.
A little sprinkle.
The windows ain't clean. Do we have to use their DJ?
That alone.
I want CJ Hercules. It's me and you.
Right, that's how
And the things we do. You remember when Grandpa, when we were little, my mom told me he'd be eating fruit outside and spit the seeds into the yard and a tree would grow. That's what they did.
It's dated. It's giving very dated.
Yeah, it's giving very-
1970s.
Very mustache, no beard. You know what I mean?
Look, just look at it. It's just not. It looks very like secluded, but not the good secluded. Like
not
abandoned.
Like,
Doesn't it look like somebody lives here though?
She
It
probably-
It looked like it used to be a house.
She probably did.
Nah, this is a no from the start. When we
Yeah.
pulled up,
I
it was a
knew
no.
it was from the pictures. I don't even know why I came here. Sorry for wasting your time.
I'm gonna miss y'all.
I love you.
I love you more,
You don't, but it's okay.
but I actually do.
But you don't though.
But
You
bye
do
guys.
You can say bye to her.
Bye, boo boo. Love you guys so much.
We love you.
Y'all have fun. Take lots of pictures, lots of
We
videos.
will. I'll send you
Show us
everything.
somewhere.
Ooh. I didn't even want to complete that tour, but got to see it through, my boy. When I first came here with my fiance now, or my then boyfriend, now fiance, when I saw this place, I was like, oh my gosh, we should get married here. So his parents were like, if that's what you want, you get what you want.
Especially being right on the water.
Oh yeah, it's so gorgeous.
So this is the loggia. I'll just go ahead and tell you.
No, you can-
Typically
yeah.
what we see the most for a ceremony, you'd be in the lower tier down here.
Oh, this is a beautiful
This is the
space.
tier gallery, so this would be where you most likely have dinner, dancing, cake cutting, photo booths, anything like that.
So, how many people does this space hold?
You can get it.
Over 200? Okay. I love these huge windows. Does this space come with any tables and chairs, or would we have
the
to?
rental of the space comes with tables and chairs.
Okay.
And then all of your china and everything will come from the caterer, which is the in-house caterers, Chef's Garden.
typically, when the ceremonies are held down here, there are two kind of setups that we see a lot. One would be with all of your guests facing the English garden. You can come down the stairs, you can come in through the sign. The gardens do stay open and lit throughout the evening, so if your guests want to come out here, this is where your room would be. We don't cover these windows up, but if that was something you guys wanted to do, as long as it was removed, that would be fine.
Okay.
Okay. And it's still sort of set up from the last one. So we'll have linens on the tables, the mirror's kind of tucked away.
Look at that. Do you guys do a lot of weddings here?
We do one event, or we will do like one event each weekend, so we are available. The station is closed.
Yeah, I really liked this museum, but I'm not sure if I like it as a venue for the wedding. It's very naturally beautiful. We would have use of the gardens throughout the whole event. And there's different gardens, English gardens, Italian gardens and stuff, all on the back of the property and their waterfront. So I really like that. We would also get 3 hours of open museum time. So our guests would be able to actually enjoy the museum as it is. It's a really pretty place. The only downfall of it is, number one, it's $9,000 just for the venue alone, which I don't care how much money I have or who's paying for it. I'm not paying $9,000 for a venue. There's no reason to pay that much to me. On top of that, I had the opportunity to take a look at their food menu, and their food menu was also astronomical. So we would be looking at least $15,000 just for the venue and food alone. The lady was nice. Danielle, if you're watching this. So yeah, that's where we're at with this venue. Oh, I also wanted to say that if you're a person who does not care about wedding content at all, don't worry. My channel is not turning into the wedding content hub. It's what's going on in my life. I'm really excited. I think some of you guys are really excited with me, right? Drop a little unicorn if you're excited. And then it's something that a lot of people are going through, may have tips for me on, or for the rest of the people inside of the unicorn universe. We should start saying that, the unicorn universe. That, I like that. So if you have tips, definitely leave them in the bottom. And then if you're in the process of manifesting your divine partner, you're gonna be going through this anyway soon. So, but don't you worry. This is not the wedding hub. Don't worry about that. But I hope that you guys are enjoying this content. If you are, please let me know. So real quick, before I get into these actual questions, I actually wanted to recommend that you guys get a book. It doesn't have to be the book that I have. I have the Kara Weaver Wedding Planner. It doesn't have to be this one. Just make sure that whichever one you get is one that has a section for venues and vendors and a list of questions so that you could kind of like quickly write the answers to the questions that you ask here and do a kind of like compare and contrast type of thing. So that really helped me. Most of the questions that I'm about to recommend that you ask are actually from this book, and it was super beneficial. Again, it's the Kara Weaver Wedding Planner. This is not sponsored. This is just what I've been using. My fiance got this for me and literally game changer. I got this book from, I believe, Barnes and Nobles. Okay, so getting straight into the questions. The first question that you want to ask are what the available dates are. If you have a preferred time of year that you want to get married at, make sure that you ask like, okay, do you have anything from February to April because it rains in the place that you want to get married, or because it's too cold in December, so you want to ask for summer months. Make sure that you are checking available dates first and foremost, especially if you have a specific day that you want to get married on. The next question that I recommend you asking are how many events per day does this venue host? Is it just you? Can you come in early to set up and all that stuff? Or is it like 3 other events and you're kind of having to go in and out and fight with people for the venue or to get out before you need to get in? The next question that I recommend you asking are what the capacities are, seating and standing up, for each event space within the venue. Many venues have multiple places where you can get married and have your reception. They'll have an outdoor area where you can get married or have your reception or cocktail hour out there. Sometimes they'll have like an indoor reception hall. Sometimes they'll have another separate pretty area where you can get married at. and you really need to know if the capacity fits the amount of people that you want. Because let's say there's a beautiful room with huge windows where you want to get married, but you have a guest count of 100 and that room only fits 50 people. If you pick that venue, you would have to pick one of the other places instead of that area that was pretty with the big windows. And that might be a deal breaker for you. So that is another big question that I need you guys to ask. The next thing that I want you to ask is about times. Okay, so how long is the event time? Is there a specific time that it has to end? If their event time is maybe 8 hours, can you extend it for a fee? And if you want a 9th hour, how much is that fee? You also want to ask what the rental fee includes. Does it include tables and chairs? If so, how many, what style, and things of that nature. Some venues like ours even includes a stage and a dance floor, so we will not have to purchase or rent any of that stuff. Some even include sound equipment and lights. So you want to make sure that you know everything that comes with that rental fee. Also, if you watch the whole vlog, you will see that some of them even include day of wedding planners and staff on site, like people to clean the bathrooms throughout the event, or you know, security and things like that. Next thing that you want to ask are, what is the deposit? So is there like a $1,000 deposit to secure the venue? Is there a security deposit for damages? And what all would you have to make sure it does not happen in order for you to get that security deposit back? If there's a thumbtack in the wall, are they able to take your damage deposit, or does it literally have to be somebody punched through the wall and then they could take it? Like, what are the specifics around that? You also want to ask about their payment schedule and if there are refunds at any point. Let's say 3 months out from the wedding, you have to cancel for whatever reason or postpone it. Will they take all your money and keep it, or will they give you 50% back, 100%? 75%. Next, you need to ask, when is the final payment due, and if they have any flexible payment options, if that's something that you're needing. Next one is a really big one. Do they have a preferred vendor list? A lot of venues have a list of caterers. Mine has 11 caterers on there that we have to choose from. We cannot bring in our own food or anything like that. It has to be from them. And that could really impact a lot when it comes to your budget. If they only have high-end caterers on their list, then you'll probably be paying a lot more in food. So you want to make sure that you get that information. If they have a preferred vendor list, see their preferred vendor list and call around before you actually book a venue, because if everything on their list is astronomical, that obviously would not be a place that you would want to have your event at. The next question is, if you are able to pick your own videographer, photographer, DJ, and things like that, do they have to have any specific licenses or permits in order to work at that venue? The next question is, who sets up the actual tables and chairs, and what condition are you allowed to leave things in? Sometimes they have people who set it all up and they move things for you and things like that, and then it's just up to the caterers to put the linens down, and whenever you're leaving, you just have to pick up everything that you came with. Is that so? Or do they require somebody from your team to stack the chairs at the end and pull them out and all that? The next question is something that I never really thought of, but it's very important. So, do you need to have security on site? Some vendors, if you're serving alcohol, they require you to have security on site for at least 4 hours or something during the time of the reception. So you need to make sure that you know that. The next question is there going to be anybody on site during the event, like a manager or somebody that you can contact in case something goes wrong? If the bathroom floods, what are you going to do? So you need to find out if there's going to be somebody there to handle situations like those, or if you're pretty much going to be on your own. Next, you need to ask if there are any hidden charges. Let's say after the event is over, is there anything that they could spring on you after the fact? You need to also ask if this venue is handicap accessible. That's not even just if you have somebody who is handicapped in your family, but you never know. Somebody can break their leg and end up in a cast, God forbid, like right before your wedding date, and you need to make sure that, you know, if they're in a wheelchair or something like that, they're going to be able to get in and out of the bathroom. You also need to make sure that you have enough bathrooms on site for all of your guests. If it's going to be 200 people and one bathroom, that's not going to cut it. So you need to make sure that you ask that information. Next, you should ask about their alcohol policy. If you are going to have alcohol, are you able to bring in your own alcohol and have bartenders serve it, or does it all have to be through the catering company? Another big thing for me is bridal suites. Do they have bridal suites? Where are they located? Are they right next to each other where you guys might see each other before the wedding, or what? Are there any extra rooms that you can utilize? if they are next to each other. That's gonna be really important because when you get there, you're not just gonna be like mingling with your guests. You're gonna wanna be tucked away somewhere. You should also ask if there are any catering limitations. Some people don't have any limitations, so you could literally bring a whole barbecue grill there and have your caterer cook there. But other places, they don't allow open flames at all. So you have to make sure that you know what the catering limitations are and what the kitchen is like. Do they have a prep area? Do they have a place where you can keep the food warm? Do they have ice machine and all that stuff? You need to know those things beforehand. Many times when they have a preferred vendor list, these preferred vendors already kind of know the lay of the land, so they're gonna know how to work within, you know, whatever type of kitchen that they're gonna be in. But you need to know these things, especially if you're going out and hiring your own caterers. Next, you need to ask if there are any decoration limitations. Is it something where you can hang drapes from the ceiling and sprinkle flowers on the floor down the aisle? Or are you not allowed to do these things? Are you able to have open flames on the table? Or do all of your candles need to be in some sort of enclosure? Next thing that you want to ask, especially if you are having your wedding in a place where it rains a lot, is there a rain plan, a backup plan? And if it does rain and your ceremony is supposed to be outside, will their staff help you bring all the chairs in and arrange them the way that you need for an indoor ceremony? Next thing you want to ask if there are any noise ordinances in your area. Can the DJ not turn the music up past a certain limit? Does it have to be turned down at a certain time, or what that's like? You should also ask if you could do rehearsal there the day before and how far in advance that can be booked. Some venues like mine, they require you to wait until I think about 5 weeks prior to your actual event date to book your rehearsal. If they can have the whole venue rented out the day before my wedding, they're gonna do that rather than allowing me to have my rehearsal there. So just make sure that if that's something that's really important to you, that you ask that question. And you also ask if you're able to bring food there. Also, if there's any cost associated with that. Another big thing that you wanna ask is if there's a specific time of day that you should have your ceremony. And I don't mean just based on like their regulations and their rules, but based on the lighting. So if you have a photographer there or a videographer to capture all the moments, is there a specific time that the lake shines just right and the sun comes in through the windows and it's really pretty backlighting? Or is there a specific time where if you're having an outdoor ceremony, the sun is just beating down on you and it wouldn't look good in pictures? So you wanna ask the people at the venue, what is the best time of day to actually have your ceremony in order to have the best pictures and video? And also guest experiences, because you don't want people out there sweating. And the last question that I'm going to recommend that you ask for sure is if they have any relationships with any of the hotels in the surrounding area. Sometimes they have a relationship to where you can book a group rate. Sometimes they have a relationship to where people can get a shuttle from the hotel to your venue and so that they don't have to drive and things like that. Sometimes parking spaces can be limited at venues. So also ask that question, like what's the parking situation like? That's a little bonus. But make sure that there are accommodations in the area for one. As you guys saw in the video, some places don't have much when it comes to hotels that are gonna suit your guests' needs. So make sure that there are accommodations in the area and food spots. If they have any recommendations, write those down, put them on your website, and see if your venue has any relationships with any of those places. All right, so that wraps it up for this video. I know it was a long one, but I hope it was beneficial as well. If you made it to the end of the video, congratulations to you. You're an OG and your wedding process is gonna go so smooth because you have all the information that you could possibly have on wedding venues. If you are a bride-to-be or a previous bride or a wedding planner or somebody who's just into weddings and you have any other tips, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below so that myself and also all of the other brides and grooms and people who are getting married are able to benefit from that. And as usual, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow all my social media accounts right down there, and I'll see you in the next one.